Hey, today you are learning monochromatic. Can you say monochromatic? Monochromatic. Monochromatic means tints and shades of one color. Glance over here. If your back is towards the front, turn in your seat, Colton, so you can see all the different colors I've done on monochromatic. And don't yell it out, but think in your brain, what color am I going to pick? Here's tints and shades of red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And my example today, I'll be doing tints and shades of purple and violets with you, okay? So monochromatic means one color, so think of one color, and then you're gonna do tints and shades of that color. This is what came up when I typed in monochromatic mountain scene. So think, the same thing you're gonna learn with monochromatic is atmospheric perspective. Can you say atmosphere?
Atmosphere.
Can you say atmospheric?
Atmospheric.
Perspective?
Perspective.
Nice. Atmospheric perspective means that things are lighter in the distance and they're darker up close. And if I could teach you that, your art's going to get more dimensional. Check this out. After you do this today, you're going to get to then photograph your art and crop off the wiggly lines. So just see how much you're going to put on your online gallery. And then tomorrow you can add like a wolf howling, personalize what Mrs. Smith started for you and make it your own. All right? Everybody get out your paintbrush now and think of your color. Don't say it out loud. Think of the color you're going to do tints and shades of. Quietly. Oh, sorry. If I hear you say, oh yeah, I'm going to write your name down. I need you to quietly follow along during the lesson. And then I'll say at this time you can talk to your friends. Quietly get your brush in the color you wanted. I told you I'm doing purples. And find the number 1. Make a little circle on the number 1, following along. And now use water. Can you say water? Water. And bleed out that color and make it really light. This is your background. This is going to be your lightest color. As you are doing your background, I'm going to read to you the instructions. Monochromatic landscape. Paint using 6 different values of a single color. Single means mono, from light to dark. Starting with number 1, what we're doing right now, your background. Each hill shade, you're then going to paint a shade darker until you get to the foreground. The foreground is the trees. Can you say foreground? Foreground is the closest, and that's when you're going to get a little darker. You need just a little more water to spread it.
That's not
with your pigment. You could do whatever color you want, and you could just spread it around like that. And you could tint and shades of any of those pinks that you have in your palette. Okay? Now, is everybody done with number 1 and ready for number 2?
No.
Okay, well, as you get ready, I'm going to be going a little faster than you, and then I'll come around and help you, okay? Yes? You can restart. Here you go. Your number 2 is the littlest, teeniest hill in the background. So I'm going to dunk into...
I'm going to need a clear brush. Like this dark.
Sorry, you didn't raise your hand. Your name has to go on the board. Number 2 is the next color. If anyone wants to restart, if you raise your hand, I'll call on you. You come right here, but make sure your name is on it. If anyone wants to restart, come here and get a new paper. The thing is, if you 2 who spoke out of turn, your name will go on the board, and the rest of you keep going with me. You're going to slowly go from lighter to darker, okay? And as each hill is closer, look at the example, you're going to get darker. Guess what? Your darkest hill in the foreground where the trees are is going to have some black added to it. So when you're on the darkest dark, your closest one, you're going to add a little black to it. Okay, so I'm working with you guys, and I'm slowly going from dark to light, and I'm adding water if I want it lighter, and then I'm mixing, like you mix up cookies, right? You're mixing in the color to get it darker. Did that just get darker, spending a little longer?
Yes.
You're gonna have to wait for my lesson. You can go to the water fountain at this time if you can do it quietly, okay? But I need you to just not talk for this little amount of time for me to work really quickly on my example so I can then help each of you on yours. At any time, if your water's muddy and you want to quietly go to the sink and get fresh water, remember, only fill it halfway so you don't spill it. All right, I'm down to my hill. I'm working faster than you so I can help you. Now, in my closest area that has the tree line, I'm going to add, can you say black? Black. And if you wrote your name on the bottom, you are going to see wax resist, where your name's going to be repelled right through the paint in the foreground. So the foreground is going to have your color with a little black for the darkest. All right? Does everybody see how to do this?
Yes.
And what are we doing? Can everybody say monochromatic?
Monochromatic.
Monochromatic landscape. escapes. All right, over and out from the lesson. We're gonna finish. If you